y'all for allowing me to stand here this morning. It's a privilege and an honor. What? Oh, the kids. I forgot about that. Hey, the kids are dismissed right now. But it's a privilege and it's an honor to be here this morning. Just a little bit about me. For those that don't know me, my name is Victor. I go by Vic. We've been here at Gateway for about 5-6 years now, and we love being at the church here. Prior to being here, we were at Berta Baptist for a while, and I was the youth minister and all there for a little bit. And life changed, things happened, and we just kind of moved away from Berta for a while and tried to get our life back on track to follow God's calling. And I've had a calling since I was 7 years old. I knew that this is what I was supposed to do. Since 7, I knew that there were 2 things in life that I was called to do. One was be in the military, and one was to serve God. And I'm happy to say I've got almost 17 years in now in the military and getting close to that retirement mark. Excited about that. And then starting my career finally after being hard-headed and running for God for a while in ministry. Like I said, I've done it in the past, some here and there, but as I grew and got older and wiser and humbled more to Christ, I realized, okay, it's time that I truly get serious and authentic in my walk with Christ, and that's why I'm here before you this morning. When Brother Jason gave me the date that I would be preaching, I spent a lot of time thinking and praying and spending time in the Word and with God, humble before Him, thinking about what I was going to preach about today. And then a few weeks ago, we all heard Brother Paul preach about love and how God sought us out and how God wanted us to be authentic and love each other and be growing in our faith just as God loved us and sought after us. And that message that he brought, he really talked about the importance of Christ and how much His love is for us, and that true love that God showed to us by sending His only Son to be our ultimate sacrifice for us and die on the cross to show us this true love. But Brother Paul also talked about how we should love our neighbors, how we should love our enemies and all. But there's no clear text out of 1 John that he preached out of that said, hey, this is how we should go about loving one another, other than we should love each other like God loved us. So that's what I want to take a few minutes this morning to talk about, is how we should show each other love. And there's a couple of different types of love that in my preparedness that God brought to my attention. First being counterfeit love, and then the other being authentic love. So we're going to be reading out of 1 Corinthians 13. If you have your Bibles, please turn there with me. We're going to start in verse 1, and it says, "If I speak in tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I prophesy powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver up my body to be burdened, but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant. It is not rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not noticeable or irritable or resent on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoings, but rejoice with truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part and prophesy in part, but when the perfect comes, the parallel will pass away. When I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. For now, we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known. So now, faith, hope, and love abide. These three, but the greatest of these is love. Dear me, Father, I just stand before you humbled, Father God. I ask you that you open our hearts and our minds, Father God. I ask that you take me off of this stage, Father God, and let it be your words, your presence here, Father. Guide us and direct us as we look at the text, Father God. Search our hearts and let it be you, Father God, that's there, that brings the darkness into light, Father God. In your precious and holy name we pray. Amen. So, if you've grown up in any type of a church setting, maybe just some type of a good family established home, good Christian morals, whatever the case may be, we've all experienced and been showed love. We all know what love is. We all have a mentality or a thought process, whatever you want to call it, to say this is what love is. And this is the way that love should be presented. You were taught this from a young age, in whatever shape, form, fashion you want to call it. We have a thought process of what that looks like, what it should look like in our lives. What we're going to talk about first is we're going to talk about counterfeit love. When we think about counterfeit love, we've all kind of heard the terminology, fake it till you make it, right? In the military, we look at motivation. We bring up an acronym of fake it till we make it, or false motivation is better than no motivation at all. Right? It's not the case when it comes to love. But we've been conditioned in our lives sometimes to exhibit uncounterfeited love. So if we define counterfeit love a little, it is important to relate to or to love others out of an unhealed posture. What this is meaning is not having healed physically, mentally, or emotionally in your actions and your attitudes. In verse 1 of Corinthians here, we see that without love, we are like a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And verse 2 goes on to say, without love, we are nothing. And verse 3 says, without love, we gain nothing. Our environments can change how we feel, and can change the ways we act or speak. Chances are, if you grew up in any type of a house that had some type of traumatic event there, abuse, whether it been physical, mental, sexual, whatever the case may be, alcoholism, fear, you have been conditioned in your young age to show counterfeit love. This is because at these young ages, you were showed through an unhealed posture because of your past how to show love. So you intend to put up walls, barricades. You shut people out, you lock doors, you don't want to look back on your past because you're afraid of opening these doors or these windows to allow these things in. So we hide them and we shut them out. And we harbor them in our bodies and in our minds. And we're hateful toward it. But when you look at things like, let's take family for example here. They're your family. You still love your family. You still care about your family. And when they're around or whatever the case may be, you pretend. You fake it until you make it, right? Oh yeah, I love you. I got you. We're exhibiting counterfeit love. You haven't allowed yourself to give it all to Christ and feel an authentic love for our neighbors, for our enemies, for our families. So now that we've defined counterfeit love, we're going to see how we can see how sometimes we may struggle to love others for whatever the reason may be. We've all had that one person that just irritates the crud out of you, that you can't stand to be around. And you fake it. You pretend. You put on a mask. You want to hide behind those things to say, oh, it'll be all right. You suck it up. You drive on with it. Your love is counterfeit when your unconscious motivation is deeply rooted in your fear of rejection. Meaning your motivation to do something is out of love simply because you want to be a part or fit in. You mask behind the fear of rejection, looking for approval or maybe even some criticism. Your love is counterfeit when saying no to others causes you intense emotional pain, resulting in your own guilt or shame. Have you ever just shut someone out of your life for a reason, yet you know you still love this individual? Because you care about them? You're exhibiting counterfeit love. Your love is counterfeit. Maybe your love is counterfeit when you constantly notice the shortcomings, the failures, the deficiencies in others out of pride for yourself on your success, your accomplishments, your own goodness. This list of counterfeit things can go on and on and on. When we talk about, oh, look at this big bass boat I just got, or this brand new house. We boast about things. Church, I stand here before you today to tell you, as a church, as Christians, we're flawed. I can say this because I know myself all too well. I'm very flawed, broken. And throughout life has showed my fair share. I have showed my fair share of counterfeit love. My personal story is full of counterfeit love. And my journey of healing has been long and arduous. However, it's all been worth it. And when I look at my wife, my kids, the support system God has placed in my life, plus being able to relate to others, being here at Gateway, out of a healed posture, it produces nothing short of what God intended for my life. It's a blessing just to be standing here. I was once told, if the only way to know God was through knowing His people, I probably wouldn't want to know His people at all. And I was shocked by this statement, just like many of you just, oh. As I attempted to understand this statement more, I realized it was because this person received nothing